Heavy lake effect snow will pummel the Great Lakes region over the next couple of days. The coldest weather of this winter season is entering into the United States today and over the next couple of days. And all eyes are on a major winter storm along the Gulf Coast and into the southeast. We're going to break down everything here that you need to know in this forecast. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and check out all of my daily updates we provide to you here on this channel. Follow along with all of them. And simply do that by subscribing to the channel, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it. Let's go back over the past 24 hours because the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, the I-95 corridor, did see a hefty snowstorm. If you folks were watching the Eagles game yesterday, you saw it was snowing heavily there in Philadelphia, and we actually did end up seeing 6 to 8 inches worth of snow in the Philly area, and a large chunk of the I-95 corridor seeing either 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 inches of snow, with even a couple reports here in the Appalachians across western Maryland and West Virginia getting 8 to 12 inch reports there, and even a foot of snow. So definitely seeing some heavier snowfall for last night. This afternoon, it's all quiet here across the Northeast besides the lake effect snow in the Great Lakes, and this is really going to go strong through the day today here downwind of Lake Michigan. The biggest lake effect snow band looks to be in western New York there into the Watertown, New York area, or just south of Watertown, and then over here toward Orchard Park and Buffalo, and that'll largely continue into the day on Tuesday as well. And the Great Lakes, going to see some very heavy snowfall. If you're near the lakes here in the western part of New York State, we're gearing up for up to 3 feet of snow in a couple of these lake effect snow bands. The western part of lower Michigan here on the downwind side of Lake Michigan seeing a good 6 to 12 inches of snow. And then even parts of the eastern upper peninsula of Michigan, we are seeing potentially 6 to 12 inches of snow there as well, going all the way through Wednesday, January 22nd. The coldest air of the season is here, and you can feel it as you step out the door this morning. If you're heading off to work, if you have work today, or running any errands out there, getting gas in the car, definitely very cold. So make sure to bundle up with layers because frostbite in these types of conditions can occur in less than 15 minutes because look at these morning lows that we did wake up to. We woke up into southern Canada with 30s below zero. These are just your air temperatures in parts of Ontario and western Quebec, and even in the United States, 10, 20, 25 degrees below zero with our air temperatures, and those wind chills were brutal this morning. 55 degrees below zero up here into parts of Ontario, Manitoba, and western Quebec, and not much better here in the northern U.S. into North Dakota, waking up to 50 degrees below zero this morning, and we're not improving much this afternoon. The core of that tropospheric polar vortex is right over southern Canada, not too far across the border. So we're going to see high temperatures in the teens to maybe as cold as 20 degrees below zero up here in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin. And those wind chills will be bitterly cold this afternoon, 30 to 45 degrees below zero across those same areas. So make sure to bundle up with layers. Frostbite in these conditions, again, can occur in less than 15 minutes. As we go through the rest of the week, the core of that cold air will stick around the Great Lakes region, so Chicago, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, you folks will be feeling it as we go into Tuesday. And then as we go into Wednesday, the colder air begins to depart further off to the east toward the Mid-Atlantic and down here near the Gulf Coast, and that will set the stage for our major winter storm. And then finally by Thursday, I think the strongest part of our Arctic blast will be gone, but we're still seeing below normal temperatures in the central and eastern U.S., and that largely will continue on Friday. Although Friday the plains finally get above normal, so that'll feel probably like summer out there by the end of the week. And like we said, all eyes are on our Gulf Coast southeast snowstorm here. We have winter storm warnings all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley. Tell me when the last time that was, because honestly I don't really know. And then here across portions of the Houston Metroplex, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Gulfport, Mississippi, the Mobile area. And yes, we even do have winter storm warnings into the northwest Florida panhandle. A very rare snowstorm is likely to unfold. And this is a similar track and similar time frame to our 2018 winter storm along the Gulf Coast and the southeast in January 28th, 29th of 2014 as well. So definitely seeing that similar track as we see with this storm, and definitely going to be seeing some snowfall further to the south. This afternoon, looking here at the snowfall, We got the cold air coming in, maybe some fluffier snow in the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, and into southern Kansas. This is not going to be that big of a deal. Very light snowflakes, and a lot of us probably won't see it because of Virga. We got dry air aloft, and as those snowflakes come down, they'll evaporate before reaching the ground. Nonetheless, we're going to be seeing some rain across South Texas into the Rio Grande Valley this afternoon. Here comes the snow as we go into tonight across San Antonio, Austin, stretching over there toward Houston, and then that really begins to pick up from Houston, the Galveston area, all the way over here towards coastal Louisiana, so Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, Alexandria, New Orleans, and even over here into places like Jackson, Mississippi on south, we're going to start to see that heavier snow, and those snow rates on Tuesday could be around 1 inch to 1.5 inches per hour, and then as we go into Tuesday night, a notable ice storm from Savannah, Georgia, back here toward Tallahassee and the Big Bend area of Florida with accumulating ice. Just to the north of that, we're going to see sleet and then snow changeover across southeastern Alabama, southern Georgia, and into the Carolinas there, and snow could be heavy at times from Myrtle Beach and Wilmington all the way down here toward portions of the low country of South Carolina into places like Columbia and even Charleston. Then as we go to Wednesday, the main body of the system is going to be off the East Coast. We're still going to be dealing with those rain showers in central southern Florida, but that will be all liquid precipitation on Wednesday as those temperatures down there are much warmer. So let's look at the accumulations here. This is the latest update that we do have through Wednesday, January 22nd. A widespread swath of 4 to 7 inches worth of snow can be expected here from the Corpus Christi area all the way up here into places like Houston, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Gulfport, Mississippi. And then looking at the ice potential down here from Corpus Christi, Victoria, Texas, and toward the Rio Grande Valley, we could be seeing a few hundredths to up to 1/10 of an inch of ice, and that will make travel hazardous going into your Tuesday morning commute. So that will be something to watch in south central Texas. Moving it further to the east, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, the northwest Florida Panhandle, including the Big Bend area of Florida, into southern Georgia, and even the coastal areas of the Carolinas, we're going to be seeing a swath of around 3 to 6 inches worth of snow. And then the further south we go here, from Savannah, Georgia, just to the west of Jacksonville, and may even include parts of Jacksonville. We'll have to wait and see on that. But further to the west into Tallahassee and toward Panama City, including the Big Bend area of Florida there, we are seeing a notable ice storm. Ice accumulations could be upwards of 1/4 of an inch here, and that is going to be enough to weigh down some of the infrastructure and cause some power outages in these very areas. So looking at the hazards on the roads, going to be a major winter storm across southern parts of Louisiana, back here into southeast Texas, including metro hubs of Houston, Lake Charles, New Orleans here, and Baton Rouge, and then more moderate travel disruptions further east toward Mobile, Panama City, Jacksonville, Savannah, and then up the East Coast there into the Carolinas. So make sure to take it slow out on those roadways. Leave plenty of time to get to your destination. Going beyond this storm, we're going to see colder air, but not like we just saw. It's going to be moderated cold air, and the coldest will be off across the western third of the United States, but an active pattern will continue through the rest of January, and that could bring some more wintry weather further to the south. Maybe not to the Gulf Coast, but maybe here across the Mid-South and over toward the Mid-Atlantic as we finish off the month of January. Let's turn the page to February. We're almost there. February 1st through the 8th, we're going to see a ridge begin to develop across the south, but especially the southeastern U.S., and that will retrograde our trough, our tropospheric polar vortex, back to areas that should be seeing it in the Arctic and northern Canada, and that's where our cold air will be. Alaska, all the way down into Yukon, British Columbia, and really just all of western Canada will be below normal, and significantly below normal with the temperatures, while that ridge will begin to warm us up in the heartland of the country, and we breathe a sigh of relief from our Arctic air, at least for now. And looking here at the 1st through the 8th, here's the storm track. Pacific Northwest, those storms will sneak in across the Central Plains and then across the Ohio Valley. To the north of this track, we're going to be watching for some heavier snow and ice potential. To the south of this track, rain and maybe even some bouts of severe weather. So let's look here at the precipitation anomalies. Those are indicating very active weather across the Pacific Northwest and the northern tier of the United States, and this could bring some snowfall into places like the Dakotas, Nebraska, the upper Midwest region, and the Great Lakes, and even parts of the northern Ohio Valley as well. Now, as we go into the second week of February, the 8th through the 15th, this is a much more stormy look to the pattern. We have that trough that moved further to the north. That'll kind of sink a little bit further to the south and west. So this could include more of the Pacific Northwest getting colder. We got that southeast ridge and what we call a baroclinic zone right in between. It's the gradient of cold temperatures to the west and warm temperatures to the east. And right there in that battle zone, we're going to see the storm track. And here you go. You got colder air sinking down from western Canada to the Pacific Northwest. You have mild air from Texas along the Gulf Coast and into the southeast. And that baroclinic zone is where we're going to see that low pressure track from the west coast, maybe not Southern California. I know we need rainfall there. I think we could see some Central California rains, but I'm not too sure about Southern California. It looks pretty dry. And as we go into the middle of the February timeframe, those low pressure systems will have a tendency to drop south towards Arizona, New Mexico, and the Texas Panhandle. And this could be a golden path for heavier snows in places like the Twin Cities, Des Moines, Kansas City, and perhaps Chicago as we go into the second week of February. And you can see indicated Central and Northern California will be the recipients of some heavier moisture, but Southern California just can't seem to buy a drop of rain even through the first half of February. And looking at the pattern, that snowfall, Chicago, Milwaukee, into the Twin Cities region, Des Moines, Kansas City, will likely get better chances for snow as we go into the second week of February. And that is confirmed by the Climate Prediction Center. And we see the colder air first half of February to the north, warmer air to the south. You got the baroclinic zone here in the white. And then we see an active pattern, very active in the Pacific Northwest, very active around the Great Lakes here, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, parts of the Mid-Atlantic, and then drier underneath here from Arizona, New Mexico, through the Gulf Coast and eastward to Florida. So stick with me, follow along with all my daily updates on the channel. We're going to have another evening update for you to update you on what you can expect with the major winter storm, also lake effect snow, the cold temperatures and wind chills out there. Please stay safe, everybody. Bundle up with layers out there. Frostbite can occur in less than 15 minutes. This is some serious cold weather. And again, subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with all my daily updates. Like the video, give a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media. And obviously, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll obviously answer those after the video. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Monday out there.